Your move, your move.
What's going on, guys? This is Garc from the Big Five, bringing to you our next deck profile video. It is my ELDLICH Numeron Dragoon, topped second in our last Big Five tourney. As you guys saw in the previous video, Steve-O went undefeated, running pretty much pure Dino. He played a phenomenal game. Him and I made it to the championship round. Legit, it was, dude, it was a really good game. Steve-O was just on fire, not only with his plays, not only with his deck, how phenomenal he strategized against us, but his cuts, I'm not gonna front, were incredible. I dueled Steve-O twice, 2 matches with him. And I can tell you, in the 2 matches that I played with him, I didn't get to run my ELDLICH package not once. And it was just his cuts, man. His cuts were legit, you know, amazing. I ran ELDLICH Numeron and Dragoon because, not for nothing, ELDLICH is just ELDLICH. It's just amazing. Numeron, same. You know, Zexu, yes, it's a card that doesn't let you play, but not for nothing, it's a very easy card to stop. And Steve-O clearly was able to stop it because he literally just ransacked through me each time, and literally him having Forbidden Droplet each time I had Zexu on board was just phenomenal on his hand. Crazy. But anyway, guys, let me just dive into this deck profile, show you guys, you know, the iteration I ran. I ran a 40 card deck. I don't like to run more than 40. It's just a personal preference, but I like the ratios that I had. But anyway, started off, I ran 2 ELDLICH, the Golden Lords. Again, when you're not running pure ELDLICH, there's no need to have 3, because not for nothing, he is a brick, especially if you get him twice. So running him at 2, I think is honestly well enough to have, but that's it for the ELDLICH. Next, I run 3 Numeron Walls. Again, phenomenal card. Not only is this card good to start your Numeron plays, not for nothing, it is a good body, kind of like a hand trap if you think about it, especially for the battle phase, where if you take damage, literally you get to special summon him and it literally ends the battle phase. So it lets you survive and try to make it, you know, into the next round and hope that you get into place. And again, if you control nothing but him, literally just tribute and you start your Numeron play that way. Next up, the Dragoon Package. Again, Dragoon's broken. He is literally, almost everybody runs it in their decks. You just have to at this point. It's just a phenomenal card. These 2 are the biggest bricks ever. I think, I'm not gonna lie, throughout this entire tourney, I had one of these in hand. It didn't matter who I was up against, I always had one of these in hand. And again, couldn't really do much with them because, yeah, you know, you can summon off of tributing or whatever, but I didn't really want to tribute what I had on the field because I needed it. So again, sucks when you have them in hand, but still, to bring out that boss monster is phenomenal. For the hand traps, I played, of course, the generic 3 Ash Blossoms. You have to run them in your deck. Literally, who doesn't search, who doesn't special summon from deck nowadays, and who doesn't summon from deck to graveyard? Like, it's just a must. I ran 3 Artifact Lancias. I main decked this because based off of the rest of the guys, I was just thinking, okay, what would they come with? And we all use, it's not just me, but we all use decks that you know, banish. So I said, you know what, why side this when I could just run it in my main, and you know, if it ends up coming up, just bam, Artifact Lancia can banish. Then I ran 2 Nibirus. There were some combo heavy decks that I went up against, but again, I didn't think I really needed 3. I did see him a lot and just at 2, so I said, you know what, why not, I'll take it. Like, I ran the 3rd in my side just in case I went against something very combo heavy. That one with his Dragon Links, but still, really good, really good. Now moving on into the spells, ran the 3 Numeron Networks. Your starter card for the Numeron plays. Even if you don't have Calling in hand, you just send Calling from deck and it activates it automatically. Ran my 4th Numeron Network with Terraforming, so I ran 2 Callings. Now, because I was running, you'll see the extra deck when it comes up, 2 copies of 1 through 3 and then 1 of 4. The reason why I did that was because if I go first, Zexu's coming up. If I go second, I'm gonna go with all 4. Just in case, you know, opponent survives, I can just go in and, you know, try to get into Zexu. And I was like, oh, you know, maybe I should run 2. But honestly, running it at 2, I saw this card every time. As in, I had Network and both Callings in hand almost, I would say 75% of the time throughout this tournament. So I was like, every time I sided, I was siding one out. Every time I sided, I never left both in deck. Funny enough though, the time that I did need to, even if I did open it, was against Theo in the championship third duel. If I would have had the second one, I literally, I maybe could have came back, who knows. Now for the ELDLICH package, Cursed Edland card is broken. It's crazy how this super is, what, $40? But it's an amazing card. It searches your ELDLICH, it searches your golden land spells and traps. Honestly, just it gets your ELDLICH plays going, whether or not you have ELDLICH in hand or you need to search him. And then the second effect of when it leaves the field, you get to send a ELDLICH or a golden spell and trap to the graveyard to then utilize that effect either in the end phase or, well, yeah, in the end phase, is broken just to keep recurring your plays. It's honestly really good. Next, I played my one Elixir of White Destiny. I don't like to play both, honestly, because it locks you into zombies. Now, this variant of ELDLICH wasn't a pure zombie build, so I was like, you know what, I'm not gonna run the black Elixir. I decided to run white because I knew that once people started realizing that I was gonna run ELDLICH, they were gonna want to banish him. So I said, you know what, let me just run the one, and whenever my opponent would try to banish, if I have this, I literally just bring him back before he could get banished from the graveyard. I ran 2 pots of prosperity. Now this, honestly, going first helped me out so much. I would say I faced everyone, and each opening hand I saw it, except Steve-O. Like, I'm not gonna front, like I told you, Steve-O had the cuts this tourney. But literally, I opened this every time I went first. Pot of Prosperity. I never banished 6, funny enough. I only banished 3, just to see what my next 3 cards were and try to pull, you know, whatever can help me extend or set board for next turn. But again, really good card in this build. I ran the 1 Called by the Grave. Hand traps are, you know, heavily used in the game. Unfortunately, Called by the Grave being, you know, limited to 1 really does hurt it, but it's still a good card to have, especially like in that clutch play, like, you know, your last chance to do something and your opponent tries to hand trap you and you just Call by the Grave and you just get to play through and win. It's a phenomenal feeling. And then my last spell was the 1 Red Eyes Fusion. Moving on to the traps, I ran 3 Elixirs of Scarlet Sanguine. This card, honestly, it's a phenomenal card. Running it with the other traps when you don't have ELDLICH in hand or on board, and literally getting to just special summon him from deck or graveyard is really good, really good. And then the effect for you to banish it so you can set a golden land spell or trap, even better. So definitely good. One of the cards that a lot of people are hoping gets hit on the ban list. I don't see, honestly, it is, again, it does help out ELDLICH a lot, but I don't really see a need for that card to get hit, because it's like, unless you're running a pure zombie build, because again, that's the other thing, that all these ELDLICH cards that summon him, he locks you into zombies. I ran 3 Conquistadors of the Golden Land, or aka Conch. Doesn't target, as long as you control ELDLICH, activate, special summon, pop a card that's face up on the field. Honestly, phenomenal. I played 2 Hakeros. I was contemplating running it at 3. Hakero is still pretty good. I know a lot of people say like, oh, you know, it's okay. Like, Hakero's really good depending on the matchup you're going up against, because that banish from graveyard is crazy. And again, nice little beat stick, 1800 attack. You just put on board. You need a little something to go over an opponent's card or even just to do damage. Then my last 3 cards I played were Solemn Strike. Now, Solemn, as you guys know, the cost is lower than Judgment, even though Judgment is broken as well, but it's amazing. That was it for the main. Literally ran it at 40. I felt very comfortable with it, you know. Besides the little breaks that you have that I did see a lot, unfortunately, it was still pretty good. Now, moving on into the extra deck, I played the 2 copies of Numeron 1, 2, 3, and 1 4 of the gates. Again, it was depending on what I went. If I went first, I'm putting out all 3, topping Zexal. If I'm going second, putting out all 4, trying to, you know, do some damage. And if the opponent survives, then just XYZ again into Zexal. Zexal, of course. Again, great card. If it gets to get its effect off, yes, it's a powerful card. But again, this card is just, it's so easy to stop. You can literally gamma it, you can impermit, you can forbidden droplet it, which is what Steve-O did to me. Next for the XYZs, I ran 1 Gustav and 1 Leave, just in case I had the 2 ELDLICHs on board, a little burn damage, and a little beat stick just in case I needed to think. Honestly, didn't play them at all. Most of the time, this was getting banished off of Prosperity, and this I kept in the extra deck just in case, if I needed to do a little burn. Last XYZ was this numbers 35 Ravenous Tarantula, another rank 10, sorry. Very good. Takes 2 level 10s. Pretty much difference between you and your opponent's life points becomes the attack and defense of this card. It also applies that difference onto your monsters. And then the other part that is really good about this card is that every time your opponent special summons, they lose 600 life points. For the links, I played 1 Link Spider. As you know, the ELDLICH traps, normal monsters. If I need to get into this guy, use one of the traps, go into Link Spider, and use ELDLICH to get into Anaconda, and then you use that to bring out Dragoon. And then my last link, I used Goddess of the Closed World. Now, I didn't get to play her. Again, no scenario popped up where I needed to use her, so I just had her there just in case I did. And then the last card in my extra deck was, of course, Red Eyes Dark Dragoon. Again, phenomenal card. Had to be run. It's just that amazing. So did get to use him a few times in the tournament, so it was pretty good. I'm gonna show you guys my side. Again, it's not the best side, but you know, not bad. I ran the last Nibiru because, again, if I was gonna go up against something very combo heavy like Datum's Dragon Link, I was like, let me side in that third Nibiru just to increase my chances of seeing it. So I ran 2 Droll and Locks in my side. I was thinking about maining it, but I preferred the Lancia over this because, again, just for those, I guess it's the same thing, because a lot of the cards that were utilized, if you banished, allowed you to add or to summon, but I preferred the Lancia over this, even though this is still broken because, again, stops your opponent from adding cards for the rest of the turn. Next up, ran 3 Droplets. Again, phenomenal card. Can literally get over Dragoon. Is one of the reasons why I ran it, just in case I came across it. But again, very good card. Didn't main it because I felt like I was gonna be able to really get through whatever was on field, especially like with Conk. So I ran 2 Lightning Storms and 1 Harpy's Feather Duster. Moving on, 3 Solemn Judgments. I had Solemn in my side. The main reason, again, it's a really good card, and I wish that I would have mained it, especially in the championship round. But again, it's just at the cost. Paying half of your life points is a lot. If I would have mained it and if I would have had it, it would have helped protect my Zexal a lot. But again, because of the cost, that's the reason why I didn't run it in the main. But I did side it in as much as I could. And then last 3 cards, Infinite Imperm. I know it's weird seeing Imperm in the side, but again, it's considered another hand trap, and I just felt like, depending on what I was going up against, it was what I was going to use to try to, negate effects or whatever the case is. But yeah, guys, so that was my deck profile. Again, very fun deck. I really enjoyed myself playing it. Shout out to the rest of the Big 5. Everybody dueled phenomenally. Shout out to Stevo, champ of the tourney. This is our 3rd tourney, if I'm not mistaken. But it was pretty good. I really enjoyed myself, and I look forward to the next one. But guys, if you enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. Feel free to subscribe so we can keep pushing out this content for you guys. Let us know in the comments below, what would you like to see? We're gonna try to see if we can push another deck profile. The next person should be Anthony with his BA deck. Hopefully we can get him to put that up for you guys so you guys can see. But let me know in the comments below, what variants of ELDLICH, if you run ELDLICH, do you guys run? If you run Numeron, what do you run? But anyway, guys, this is Garc from the Big 5 signing out. See you guys in the next video. Peace.